When Jim and Colby Wagoner go for a run, they're pretty hard to miss. The guy pushing an even bigger guy. The 65-year-old lawyer pushing more than 300 pounds combined weight.
The question is Colby too big or am I too old? And I'm not about to say yes to either one yet.
From the time each of his 4 kids were babies, Jim pushed them in a jogger until they were strong enough to run themselves. But for Colby, that moment never came. He's severely learning disabled with low muscle tone, and while there is no definitive diagnosis, doctors say he is on the autistic spectrum.
Colby doesn't handle being out in public very well. He's very unpredictable, which makes it very stressful, but when he's in the jogger, you can be around people and he's generally fairly calm.
To be honest, the 18-year-old nicknamed Moose isn't always calm in the jogger, but he is predictable.
All of the pictures of Colby in a family picture setting, he's just not having it. He's fighting with people, he's squirming, but then all the good pictures we have of him smiling, it's when he's on these runs being pushed.
No other child has ever made anything so obvious in their lives as Colby has, that he is happy, that this is joyful for him.
He likes it, huh?
Jim describes completing races as a sense of accomplishment Colby may never find from college graduation or a job or marriage. It's also the one activity the Wagoners can participate in together.
It's kind of a tradition for us, so the fact that he gets to push Colby and Colby gets to join us, we love it. It's just he gets to be part of the family, running alongside us.
I mean, he's a big kid. And it does take a special parent, I think, to take care of somebody like Colby. But at the same time, their love is also quite ordinary. It's just a loving parent supporting their child's interests.
Colby knows when he's in the seat that he's going to be with his dad. I think there's a closeness right there. And I think probably more so than any other time.
Jim and Colby run a lot of 10Ks and half marathons. But 1 week before the Two Cities Marathon in Fresno last November, the Wagoners found out they could qualify for the Boston Marathon, what Jim calls the Mecca, as charity runners, if he and Moose could finish 26.2 miles in less than 6 hours. Mom pointed out they hadn't trained for such a length.
The more she told me I couldn't make it, I kept telling her, Wendy, the more you're, arguing against yourself, because the more you say that, the more I'm going to try to make it.
She conceded with one request.
I made him put a note in the jogger. There was no way he was going to make a marathon pushing Colby.
That note was like a bigger trophy to him than anything. That people kind of even look at him like he's a little bit crazy for wanting to push Colby. I know that motivates him even more to go out there and be able to do it.
That's Jim, going to the next level.
Jim and Colby Wagoner.
He absolutely adores the crowds yelling for him. In Fresno, where there's maybe a couple thousand people, I mean, Boston's going to be incredible. I think he's just going to go bonkers for 26 miles. It's going to be the greatest joy that he could possibly experience.
They'll race in Boston for the Massachusetts Down Syndrome Congress, inspired by the charity's mission of promoting acceptance and inclusion.
When you realize you have a disabled child, you're a little bit lost. Organizations like MDSC are really great for families because they help you face the challenge with courage, with determination, with understanding, with foresight, with connections. They connect you with other people, and it's the kind of thing that helps those families help those kids.
Hi, Colby.
These days, between weekday training and local weekend races, Jim and Colby run some 10 to 15 hours a week. That's hours, not miles. And it's on top of Jim working up to 100 hours a week.
Do you drink coffee? Do you do energy drinks?
No coffee. No energy drinks, no. I've never had one.
Is there anything you turn to?
Oh, sure, God. I get my inspiration spirit from God.
A lot of people, just Colby would be the full-time job, He's able to balance it all. And I think that there are a very small percentage of people on this planet that could do it.
So Jim will continue to run, pushing his much larger son for as long as he can, driven by a fear of failure and an overwhelming sense of unconditional love.
I guess I believe in trying hard at everything you do, whether it's running, working, or anything else. I just think that's the right way to do things.
An incredible father above everything else. I mean, Jim sacrifices for us beyond what anyone could ever ask. I can't picture all men, stepping up the way he has, and it's been an incredible journey, and I wouldn't have wanted to travel it with anybody but him.